let's talk more about stream metadata rules within Connect Data Services. The idea is that you would create metadata rules to select different parsable metadata from your stream naming structures, such as location, facility, asset, class ID, and you apply these stream metadata rules to identify which streams match those patterns. And then the rules identify first the streams that match the patterns, and then Connect Data Services is going to parse the stream IDs and build out and assign metadata to those streams following those rules. So you can end up with streams that you don't just have to identify by their name or ID, but by those helpful metadata tags. Let me show you how you can create one right now. So let me go ahead and go to Data Management, Stream Metadata Rules. I've already gone ahead and created one, but let's go ahead and create a brand new one. Let me call this a metadata rule for looking at my temperature streams. So let me go ahead and look here at temperature. And I know that I have a couple streams that contain temperature. Sure enough, here I go. I've got a couple different streams whose name contains temperature and it's got their ID. Perfect. Now I want to create a stream metadata rule that's going to extract some of the helpful metadata from the names and apply that to the streams so I can use these in my searches and my subsequent queries. So let me go ahead and select this first one right here. This one right here, Noah, and next. Now I want to go ahead and break this up. So let me separate. I want this first piece of metadata to be my source. I want my second one to be my property name. So this is going to say for each of those streams, go through the naming convention, recognize that there's two tokens, a first token and a second, separated by an underscore. For each of these tokens, they're pieces of metadata. They could be string literals or wildcards. I say, okay, specifically matched by that metadata, separate by the underscore, and call this one the source, and call the second token the property name. And so now for each of these streams, when I go and look at it, I'll have this metadata assigned to it. Go ahead and hit next and show you what that looks like. Now for the source, it's going to of course match on those streams. I can either choose to copy the values directly or I can map them. So let me go ahead and hit map and generate mappings, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you can see it's gone ahead and found matching streams here that fit this pattern, and I can issue renamings. So I can call this my AW web service. If I don't like the way that one is, I call this my 4220 unit. For this one, I can just call this Noah Boss. Looks good. This one also looks perfect. But for this second one, I'll call this my WS-1550-1. So what this allows me to do is it not only finds those streams for me, it gives me the ability to just directly copy over that metadata, or I can go ahead and issue my renamings here too. So now let me go to property name, and I'll just hit copy values here. So any secondary token that appears here, the temperature token, it's just going to be preserved. Its value will be preserved. I don't want to necessarily map it. I could of course hit map, and then it would let me map, say, temperature into something like temp. But instead, I'll go ahead and just leave it as copy values. So copy values, and next. Now, I can go ahead and enter a rule for this. I'll call this my stream metadata rule 1, and as my description I'll say extracts helpful metadata from the stream name and adds it to temperature sensor streams. So now whenever I'm looking through each of these, if someone clicks on one, they'll be able to very easily see and use in their queries and their searches and their data science the actual source, the value of token 1, which I've remapped, rather than have to infer or do that split later. So by doing this association first at the stream metadata level, I'm avoiding the need to redo this on all of my subsequent queries and data analyses. Let me go ahead and hit save and execute. And perfect. And now it's going to go ahead and run stream metadata rule 1. It's going to run across all of those streams. And now when I look on one of those, I'll actually be able to see that that stream metadata has been applied. Let me go ahead and do that now. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to my sequential data store. I'll do a search for streams that end in or that contain underscore temperature, and sure enough, you see, here's one of my streams. Now when I go ahead and click on it, I can see the details for this. When I hit metadata and tags, I can see any metadata that's associated with this stream. And now sure enough, if you see me scroll on down here, I now have source. AW web service, and property name temperature. Now, some of these pieces of metadata were brought up from my Pi server, but now if anyone is ever looking at this and is just looking at the ID or is issuing a query for this en masse, they don't have to extract this themselves from the name. I've continuously done this up front. I've set the rule up so that this will apply to all new tags that matches that convention, and now I'll just have that property name and that source always mapped here to these tags. Again, the whole point of these stream metadata rules, a very useful way of enriching the data that you have to make it easier to contextualize, to segregate it, to add these metadata tags to make it more easy to use this data in your analyses. I just want to take you on a quick walkthrough of what it looks like to use these stream metadata rules. Now, some of you might have also seen that there are asset rules as well, and we'll cover those in a second video later. Thank you.